Hello. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. I hope you like it.
Hello everybody, Sean here. Got a new gun in, so I'm going to do a new video. It is one I've been waiting for quite a long time. It is the Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Now this is the second generation, Gen 1, so I guess it kind of works out that I have been, waiting for a while, and I did not get the Gen 1 because I do like the improvements of the Gen 2 over the Gen 1. If you have not seen it, it is just a doubles over on itself, folds up, snap it apart, and there you go. This one's in 9mm with the Glock mag configuration. You get the different mags for your grip here. Glock, Smith & Wesson, Sig, Beretta. I believe they now have one for the M&P Shield. Very lightweight, small, compact, and as you saw, very easy to fold up. Literally pull the trigger guard and then fold it back on itself, and then it locks into place for easy storage. Can't get much easier, simpler configuration than that. It is 4.25 pounds. Folded as you see it now, it's a little over 16, like 16 1/4 inches long. The barrel is a 16-inch barrel, so it's no SBR, no paperwork, no form, anything, no stamps, nothing. Obviously, it's in a super safe configuration. When you fold it over like that, it breaks right at the chamber in the breech, so the gun can't be fired. Easy to clean. In this configuration, see if you can see down the barrel, get that. I mean, literally, you can see right down the barrel. I mean, run your rod through it. If you use the wire type, Otis type cleaners, the snakes, that sort of thing, however you like to do it. Awesome, awesome gun. This one's chambered in 9mm. You can also get it in 40 cal, 40 Smith & Wesson. I really like it. Got it just last week. It came in. They ordered when I was on a waiting list. They called me up, said they were going to get one in the following week, and they would call me when they come in, and I can inspect it because initially the guy wasn't sure whether it was going to be the Gen 1 or Gen 2. Gen 2, man, glad to have it. I'll go over some of the different features that it has as well, and then we'll field strip it, show you how to field strip it. It's an extremely simple gun. It's a blowback design. Um, not a lot of bells and whistles. Just imagine a normal pistol, and then that design blown out into a carbine, a small pistol caliber carbine, because it has a recoil spring, cycles back and forth, and this does have a bolt type system in it, but movable bolt, but that's it. I mean, it's essentially just a big pistol. Now, again, some of the differences, and this is one of you can see both of the main differences right up here in the front. One is the front side post. This is now metal. The original, or Gen 1, I won't say original, the Gen 1, this was plastic, and then the front sight post was a plastic post too. Now you can see here, this has a standard AR-15 front sight post, even with the adjustment. You can see down here at the top of it, there's a little pin detent. You depress and push in, and then adjust, rotate clockwise, counterclockwise to get your elevation correct. In the manual, it'll tell you there at the front here is a set screw. You leave that alone. And then there's another set screw down in here. You leave that alone. The only reason you're going to use that set screw at all, that hex key, is if you're taking its front sight post off, which is not hard to do. The other change is how it latches. In the front, and I'll go over this in just a second, but here's a Picatinny rail. That was another change from the Gen 1. Little notch in here is what latches it. But the old one, the Gen 1, latched on the front side post. The front side post had a way of latching it. This one latches on the front of the Picatinny rail. So if you do decide to take this off, and it is threaded, you can to put a suppressor on it, or different type of front sight post, or whatever. If you take this off, you can still double it over and latch the gun. Awesome. Let's snap it out. The front end, the forend is a bit different. Again, Picatinny rail section on the top and bottom are now integral, and then it has M-Lok slots on both sides. So you do have the M-Lok. So if you want to attach a weapons light or something on the side, you can. Again, it's a front sight post is in the front, standard AR style front sight post, and the rear is the peep sight. And just like a standard issue AR, as far as lining everything up on there. So normal AR configuration. Okay. Now the rear, this is all polymer. The grip is polymer. One improvement they made, now the texturing looks the same as the original, the Gen 1. They have beefed this up. This is a lot sturdier, a lot stronger on the grip. One of the things with the magazine out, if you could compress this, if you had strong enough hands, you could really compress this, the magwell side. This one you cannot. I mean, well, sure, somebody has got super duper strength that might be able to, but you're not gonna. This isn't flimsy like the Gen 1. They've redesigned again this whole front section, and the redesign also allows them to, from according to the Kel-Tec reps and on their website and a couple of different videos I've seen, allows them to ramp up production with it. That was the Gen 1. They could not make that many of them, and obviously the supply and demand thing kicked in. Demand way out the road to supply, and the prices skyrocketed. This is still MSRP wise a very inexpensive pistol caliber carbine. It is MSRP is $500. I got this for $450. So it's not an expensive gun. However, if it's the same supply and demand issues kick in again, you could be looking at these on Gunbroker for $800, $900, $1,000 like they were on the Gen 1. Ludicrous, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, I don't have to worry about that because I have one. Now, it comes extremely simple. It comes folded over like you saw when I pulled it out. It comes with one magazine. Again, mine was for the Glock. Now, this is not a Glock OEM magazine. This is a Magpul PMag. Now, yours may come with an actual Glock. Mine came with just a very simple Magpul PMag and super light. Again, it's not the factory OEM Glock magazine. However, when I shot this, I had no issues with the magazine at all, no feed issues at all. Ran just fine. Now, of course, while I was at the gun store, I bought this one. And I'm sure you will too if you buy this. Then this is the Glock OEM 33 round, fun stick, some people call it. And I do agree, it is very fun shooting with it. Again, that's definitely, it can take these. Now, about the smaller one, the original, especially with the PMag one, it's so light. Now, loaded, it did free fall, but obviously you're not going to drop it loaded normally, but it would not free fall. Here, you'll have to strip it out, okay? Trying to get it to where the camera can, you'll have to strip it out. It won't free fall. The 33 will free fall. That one's not a problem. So, they don't have any problems with this one free falling. So, again, just so it's easier to see, I can maneuver it better with it, like, where you can't see I'm pushing the button, but obviously I am. Anyway, this one will free fall, no problem. Now, those are this one has a length of pull adjustment for the buttstock, where the other one didn't. From the all the way in to the all the way out is around an inch and 1.75, so 1 3/4 inches a length of pull adjustment on the buttstock. And a couple sling attachment points here. None up front, but again, with both the M-Lok slots and the Picatinny, you can put a sling, on the front, give you an adapter there. Again, super, I love it. It's shot extremely well. Now, the one thing, there are two things you might have issue with. One is this being all polymer, this, is solid up against you, and you can, you feel it getting shot. It's not super soft. It's not like shooting an AR. However, it's not heavy. It's not like you're shooting a 12 gauge either. But you will feel the recoil a little bit on this, believe it or not, even though it's a 9mm carbine. Pretty interesting, I thought. But I would like to maybe, I'm sure maybe there's an accessory for it that would give some kind of a butt pad type here. That would be better because, I like to shoot a lot. So when I'm putting a lot of rounds downrange, maybe, that would be something I would invest in. And then they make there's a couple companies make a little accessory to, because this tube, this recoil, this is like a buffer tube on an AR for just to kind of correlate it to something. But this is just metal, and they make a little foam piece that goes over to kind of, one, give you a little padding, and two, till you start shooting, this is a little cold maybe to the touch. Now, the way the sights are, it does pop up seemingly pretty high, but you have to get down on it pretty good to get, a good sight picture. So you got to really get down on it a good little bit. So, you're, that part you may not care for it a whole lot than others, but again, that's not a big deal either. And if you're going to run an optic on it, then that won't be a big deal either. You can set the optic as the height that you like. Now, there are Red Lion, I know, made some accessories for the Gen 1. It was a pretty cool accessory where it replaced this whole front handguard with one that had a pivoting system on it where the nut threaded on, but the whole handguard would pivot 90 degrees. So it allowed you to, if you put any optics on the top rail, you could take that pivot at 90 and then you could fold it back over on itself and not have to undo your optic. Or you can use a QD mount. Like, I'm a big fan of the ADM, the American Defense Manufacturing. Their mounts, did a video on that one. If you want to go back and check that out. Their QD mount would be very easy to pop that off and then double over if you don't want to add that expense of putting the rail section on. Or with the bottom of it being Picatinny, you could put a laser sight on the bottom. Again, you don't need really a magnified optic because it is a 9mm carbine, so you're not going to shoot at distance. But, 50, 100 yards, you don't really need the optic for that. Red dot would be great. Just the quick shooting and the ease of sight picture and, getting that gun on target that the red dot affords. But if you didn't want to change that around and you still love the fold up part, maybe a little real mounted laser on the bottom would be a great idea. Anyway, tons of options for you to do it. Again, this is a great, truck gun, camping gun, something to stick in the trunk. I'm, if you're a prepper, I'm not necessarily into the prepper thing. I mean, I'm prepared to some extent, but I don't go off the deep end, at least what I consider deep end. But if you, from a prepping standpoint, being a 9mm, so you can match this, only have to have one type of ammunition to go with your sidearm and a rifle, something that'll reach out a little further. So it's just fun. It's a fun gun to shoot. Oh, I had a blast shooting. I shot about 150 rounds. The trigger loosened up just a bit too. When I first got it from the gun store, I dry fired it a few times. It seemed a bit stiff, which I didn't expect it to be, a match grade trigger. I mean, again, that's not what this is. But after I shot it, I got 150 rounds, like I said, through it the first initial shooting. And that's all it was to shoot. I didn't adjust anything, just literally take it to the range, shoot it a little bit, and come back, clean it, and see how it felt. And yes, it was fun. And the trigger did loosen up a good little bit, so it's not a bad trigger for what you got. Again, this is not a competition style gun as far as you're not doing match grade shooting with it or anything like that, so don't expect Geisley or Timony or any of those other custom trigger type performances. However, it's not a bad trigger. Now, let's see. Breaking it down. Now, the manufacturer, let me just talk about the book real quick. Because it's actually it's not thick. It's not a big, Encyclopedia Britannica manual. It's full color, very concise. 23 pages, and that's including the warranty page and the first couple pages, which are all the legal disclaimers. Warning, don't, shoot anybody with it. Warning, don't, shoot yourself with it. Warning, warning, warning. just all the legalese so they don't get sued. Unfortunately, that's our society nowadays. But anyway, it shows you, and it has the safety, how to break it down, and a nice exploded view of the whole gun, which I think is really cool. I think that's a pretty nice touch. The front sight post adjustment, how to adjust, which direction goes which, the tool, the whole 9 yards. And again, in there, notice, don't touch this unless you're taking the front sight post off. Those notes. Okay. Now, field stripping is on the page after the big exploded viewpoint. The threads, 1/2 by 28. There's 2 sets of threads on here. Okay. You got, for the 9mm, it's 1/2 by 28 is this front part, and then, excuse me, this front part, but then behind it is, and let me get in so you can see that, the 9/16 by 24. Now on the 40 cal, the whole thing is 9/16 by 24, as you can see. And then, so you can, the post itself is literally, threaded on. So you can, that's how you can take it off to run your suppressors or that sort of thing. And let's see, and then it goes into showing you how to field strip it, and I'll show you how to do that. And this, let me give you a view from, put that in there. So it gives you step by step on how to do it. Now, the bolt, and I'll go and get into that in just a second because it's super simple. Here's your pin in the back. You're going to push down this little piece back here, pushes down, and then you're going to take your bolt out. Okay, let me put it to me. It's easier for me to pull it out this way, and it pulls out. Now with that removed, your little locking tab will come out, and you can see the hole in here. The pin just goes in simple. Now when you put it back together, getting this lined up will be tedious for a little bit till you get used to it. Now there is a little trick that I have done, is getting without this piece in it, putting the pin and maneuvering this till you get it lined up just right so that it goes through a little bit, then kind of pushing it back with my finger so it's still in the hole but able to drop that back in there so you can line it up a little easier when you put it back together. And the first time you do it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But again, nothing that you can't overcome. That'll just slide right off. And again, there's your 3 position holes that you can adjust for your length of pull. Here's all the way out, all the way in, and in the middle. Now, once it's out, I guess I should have left it in. Well, I'll demonstrate it both ways. Obviously, you saw that I did not charge the weapon. In the manual, in the field strip per the manual, you are to cock it, put your safety on, then take everything out. It will work without doing that. Okay, as you saw, I did not cock it. Okay, so now we pull the bolt. I just use the thing to pull back. Easy way to take the spring out. Then your bolt catch will just pull out, and then your bolt and essentially the carrier will just slide out the back of the tube. Okay, now, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And again, this is just a big hunk of metal. Now again, 4.25 pounds overall weight, and this is empty, no magazine. This by itself is like 2 pounds. It's literally like half the weight of the weapon. There's your bolt. Again, super duper simple design. Your ejector there on the right hand side. Nice 9mm Luger. Super duper simple. And just to give you an idea, now again, in the weapon it would be like this, but to show you this design, I'm going to leave that off just for a second, right? Imagine when you put this back in, this would be in the gun, right? You'd put your operating rod, your holder, charging handle, whatever you want to call it. Now then the spring, once it's in, is going in the back end of this. So this is, and then that spring retains your operating rod candle, right? Your bolt, what attaches in there. And of course, now this is all one piece, right? This is what's going to be inside the gun. So when it fires, you have blowback, pushes this back, your spring contracts, rams it back forward, strips another round, puts it back in. Like I said, it's super duper. You cannot get much simpler than this. And again, this is very, like I say, this is pretty beefy, so yeah, there shouldn't have any issues. The spring, captured recoil spring, obviously, and literally, guys, that's all there is to the internals of this gun. Like I said, if you got any simpler, I don't know how you could make it any simpler than that and still be a rifle, right? I'll break it down so you can look. See, absolutely nothing in there, buddy. Straight out, back in there. And the barrel, that's it. Very simple design. But again, I love it. It was an awesome. It was awesome to go shoot. Now putting it back together is just the reverse. Okay, you're going to lock them together. This goes up, and if you look, your extractor's over here, none in there, Luger's over there. That's going to go on the right hand side of the weapon. But you're just going to slide that in, and I can turn over so that you can line the hole up here. This way it's more easier to see. Okay. Now use that, push it all the way forward so that you can take your recoil spring, push it down in there. And again, obviously, cover. Again, you got to line up the holes. You know what I'm saying? And then once you line it up, then you can get it in there. Like I said, I'm trying to, if you use the pen, so you can get it to where the pen will pass through it before you start trying to put the recoil and everything in. You do that last little end plate. It definitely helps. So that's the, and with that adjustable length of pull, I mean, if you do that adjustment, you kind of can't really do it any different, but like I did before, right? Now I can stick my finger in it. So now, and you need to set it down on something. Like I said, that recoil spring is pretty stiff. So sorry, you hear, hopefully, it snapped into place, but you couldn't see me do it. I need to set it down on something solid to push up against. And again, the recoil spring is pretty beefy. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, you got to put a little effort into it. You're not just going to be able to fling it back. But, you know, and here's the, let me give you the trigger. You can, let me go from this side so you can see a little better. A little bit of take up, and then, like I say, not bad at all. And let's do the reset. There's your reset, and then bang. Now, the one other thing it has too, the slide does not lock back to the rear on your last round shot. It does have a little notch back here, so you can lock your bolt back. So slide it back and then kind of twist it just a hair. And you can see how it ends up being slightly off center, where the other it just sticks straight out. And it kind of lets you do like the MP5. I mean, like you can literally just smack this down and send the bolt home. Again, this does not lock back on the last round shot. Again, how I was, and it kind of works out for me, just shooting it with the magazine in, you know, that last round not holding back, so but the bolt's still cycled. So when you pull the trigger, you just get the click, the empty, you know, dry fire. Then what I was doing was locking the bolt back to the rear, dropping the mag, making sure, you know, it was empty, and then inspecting the chamber. And that way I knew, make sure I didn't have a dud on that last round. Okay. However, now with it locked back, put in a new mag, like Fun Stick here, and then just slap it home, and you're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So that part is pretty cool. I don't recommend you do this at home. I'll do it once, but I normally don't like to do it unless there's, you know, around in the chamber. But to actually slam the bolt home, that's kind of bad for the gun. But just to show you what I'm talking about. So it, you know, you can literally slam it home, you know, pop it just like you would like an MP5, and then bang. So guys, this is just an extremely fun gun. Extremely fun gun. I didn't do an unboxing because literally there's nothing in the damn box. It comes with three things: the weapon folded over, a magazine in the cardboard, and the manual. So if you're looking for frills in the packaging, if you're that kind of guy, I'm sorry, you're out to lunch. It's packaging. It's just there to get it from point A to point B. You're not going to use it. You're going to keep it just because, obviously, from a collection standpoint, you need the original packaging. Things are worth more. But that's it. Guys, Kel-Tec Sub 2000 9mm carbine, little small fun gun. Very fun to shoot. You don't have to go to a rifle range to shoot it because it shoots a pistol carbine. You can go to an indoor range. So when it's wintertime, snow on the ground, raining, something where you don't want to get out and you want to shoot, but you don't want to get out, you want to shoot a little bit more than your pistol, it's a very good option. Camping gun, taking a, you know, survival type thing, just, you know, having it in the cabin, skiing. Anytime you're out in the woods where you might want a little bit more firepower, be able to reach out a little range, this would fit the bill perfectly. Something easy to put in a backpack. This will fit in a backpack quite easily. In 16 and a little over 16 inches long. When I took it to the range, I literally grabbed it, took it in one of these little drawstring bags. I mean, this is what I keep in my range box for, like, when I grab my brass for when I'm shooting my pistols. But just to show you what I'm talking about, literally in one of these little drawstring bags. I mean, ease of transport, ease of carrying it, concealability. You just can't beat this little gun, man. I tell you. I think you'd be, if you know you're in the market for something like this, you know, fun gun, inexpensive ammo to shoot, you will be much hard pressed to find something that's funner, simpler, and easier to carry around than this little gun. Again, I love it if you can't tell. Sorry if I'm sounding like a fanboy, but I am. And I only own this Kel-Tec. You know, there's people who love them, there's people who hate them, but the Sub 2000 is definitely worth your time, worth your interest. Check it out. I think you'll like it. And again, please leave your comments in the bottom. Please like the video if you like it. If you have any questions, put in there. I'll try to find the answers and get back to you with them. So you'll have a good time shooting this good little gun. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe.